Greetings, Indie Warriors, and welcome to I Dream of Indie Games. My name is Gamer Joe, here to bring you the biggest indie releases for the week of October 14th through the 20th of 2024. This week is all about quality over quantity, with some great-looking games, some of which are arriving just in time for spooky season. As always, thank you so much for supporting independent content here at the channel. Be sure to like and subscribe to help us on our quest for indie visibility. And speaking of indie visibility, before we get into this list of games, we'd like to take a moment to thank our wonderful indie sponsor for this week, Mino Games. Are you ready for some awesome roguelike action? Do you love turn-based role-playing games? Well then, have we got the game for you? This is Dimensionals, a game where you create a party of 3 mighty heroes and chain together epic skills and combos through strategy. As someone who grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, I'm loving the art direction that Mino Games have chosen for this release. Level up your party and battle through this adventure that looks like a comic book brought to life. There is an entire story mode to get through featuring full-on voice acting as you work to take down an evil army of no-gooders. Pour yourself that bowl of cereal you've been craving, and get ready to put an end to Ragnarok once and for all. Spanning various dimensions, you are humanity's last hope, but thankfully, you won't have to go this adventure alone. The game will feature over 21 unique heroes in total that you can combine however you wish. Tons of skill combinations, there's endless replayability through a procedurally generated loop, and massive bosses to take down, of course. Join the Rogue Rifters and face your destiny today. How, you ask? Well, I'm glad you did ask that question, by using the link in our description box below and tossing Dimensionals directly onto your wishlist. It's easy. Even better, there's a demo while you're over there available right now for you to play the game for yourself before it launches later this year. Sorry, I just had to get out a bowl of cereal after this one, and I'm dusting off my comic books. That's how pumped I am for Dimensionals, and you should be too. So, once again, a very special thank you to our sponsor this week, Mino Games, for supporting indie visibility here at the channel. Use that link down below, and wishlist Dimensionals today. Alright, you know what time it is now. It's on to the indies. This first release is an action RPG that hopefully won't Drova us crazy. The ambitious-looking Celtic adventure Drova Forsaken Kin. Some solid-looking pixel art in this indie, and it looks like your choices will heavily influence how things play out. I love when your choices matter in games. Choose who you trust wisely as you join different factions, gather resources, wear badass equipment, and deal swift justice using a free-flowing combat system. If that doesn't sound tantalizing enough, the open world is ripe for exploration. Grab this potential indie gem coming to us from Deck 13 on the 15th. On to elves. Yeah, they have big ears, they often carry bows and arrows, and they have long flowing blonde hair if Lord of the Rings is to be trusted. They are silly mystical creatures, and you'll be in charge of your very own Elven city in Elven City Simulator. You will control the Elven spirit and are tasked with bringing life to a destroyed, desolate world. It's not so much about the city here though, well that's part of it, but you'll need to work hand to hand with the elves, training them, shaping them, molding them. Your elves will be tasked with many perilous missions across 3 biomes, and while this may sound stressful, it's actually supposed to veer on the cozy side. Grab this one also on the 15th. Now we take a dramatic turn with a new release from Devolver Digital called Neva. This beautiful looking game comes to us from the same team that brought us Grease and tells the story of a young girl named Alba who shares a deep connection with a spirit wolf. Together they will journey across a world that is falling apart at the seams, tasked with restoring it to its former beauty while creating a new home together. The dynamic between these two characters seems very interesting, as I always love games that share bonds between humans and animals. The art is just jaw-dropping, and I have a feeling I should have my tissues handy, as it could potentially be a tearjerker too. If you're feeling crafty, you're in luck. Our next release is Eden Crafters, launching October 16th into early access. This game can be enjoyed in co-op, or feel free to go it alone if you wish. While this isn't my usual genre, you crafting fans out there will be tasked with transforming an entire planet into a livable space. Change the atmosphere itself and create clean drinking water. Expect to gather many resources, and players can even control various vehicles. Sounds pretty ambitious to me. Alright, from crafting to a popular horror movie franchise turned video game. This is A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead. If you aren't familiar with the films, the title is pretty self-explanatory. An invasion has taken place and put the world into chaos. The only way to survive? Keep your mouth shut so that these alien creatures can't hear you. And trust me, they're very sensitive to even a pin drop. The game is a single-player horror romp that will have you on the edge of your seat as you sneak around environments, rely on your brain to solve puzzles, and take advantage of limited supplies. And remember, don't make a sound. I loved the movies, I continue to love them actually, and I'm very much looking forward to playing this one. I'm also looking forward to seeing you over at patreon.com/idreamofindiegames, where you can gain Discord access, early ad-free shows, and so much more. Your new indie gaming community can't wait to meet you. Okay then, from prey to the predator in Sniper Killer, you get to play the killer. With detectives on your case, you'll need to lay low and lurk in the shadows, carefully picking off anyone that tries to foil your plans. However, you will also play as a detective at certain times throughout the story, allowing you to see things from different perspectives. The old school polygonal graphics are a bit frightening, but I think that's what they're going for with this one. And if that's a little too scary for you, how about some relaxing city building? Citadelum gives you a choice: work with the gods or betray them. You have your usual resource gathering here, refinement systems, farming, you know the drill, but as an added plus you can make wine and potentially get everyone drunk. Now that sounds like my kind of party. Actually, I don't drink that much anymore if I'm being honest with you, but what am I talking about here? This is about Citadelum, and as you probably know, this isn't my usual genre, but if you are a fan of the genre, you should certainly add this one to your wishlist, because it seems to have a lot of robust systems and mechanics to dive into. Okay, VR fans, let's chalk this next release up to a remake that I had no idea was being remade, but VR fans can look forward to Arizona Sunshine Remake. Bust up some sun-dried zombies in this remake of the 2016 release that had players taking down hordes of the undead with various weapons ranging from guns to blades. The campaign remains fully intact if your stomach can handle it, and players can also look forward to a new mutilation and gore system. Ugh. So dust off those headsets and get to slaying in the sun. I can't wait to bash some zombies in the face. Speaking of old games returning, it's timely that our next release is also from the past. A little farther back though, it's called Killing Time Resurrected. This classic shooter takes place in the 1930s and was originally released as a 3DO exclusive. That's right, anyone that remembers the old 3DO, you gotta comment below. You can imagine how well that went though, being an exclusive and all. Even still, it eventually did get ported to Windows and is remembered for its horror themes. This version of the game stays true to the original, but has new high-definition upscaling work, improved controls, and enemies from both the 3DO and PC versions of the game. I personally love the work that Night Dive does, and it's awesome to see a deep cut like this get brought back for newer audiences. Even better, this version of the game has content that was cut from the original. Now we're going to deliver the pain on the 18th. This is Hammer of Pain, and players can look forward to some great pixel art action out of it. You'll control a blacksmith plunged into a world of despair. This 2D platformer takes place during the Middle Ages and tasks you with finding your missing daughter Nora. It looks quite violent and features a unique click and hold combat system. It is being labeled as a Souls-like, so prepare yourself, as you need to learn enemy patterns across 100 plus quests. And we hope you've enjoyed this quest with us this week, folks. Thank you as always for all that you do for indie games. I'll see you on the channel. We've got plenty of reviews and more content headed your way. Voice to the voiceless.